What's up, traders? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I was able to capitalize on over 200 pips in just 2 trading sessions with gold. Now, we understand that gold over the past recent weeks, we have been moving a lot. There has been a lot of volatility. There has been a ton of volume. Now, at the beginning of the week, I posted an analysis on X, basically explaining myself in quick summary that fundamentally gold was still bullish. Technically, which I'm going to show you guys in a second, we are still bullish. So I wanted to take a look at 2880 as a strong support zone for continued buys. And we wanted to also trade above 2886. So I'm going to show you guys now in just a second. We're going to mark up the levels together so you can see basically like the step-by-step why I took this trade and how I was able to like manage these positions. So let's just quickly look at the daily time frame first of all, because this is how you want to start your week. You want to be able to zoom out and understand where price is. So on Friday we had a strong sell-off. But when we look at the daily time frame and we see that gold has just been rallying towards the upside, every single pullback that has come to the market has just been dips for buyers to continue pushing price towards the upside. So we understood that, okay, on Friday we had a strong sell-off. We could look at the 4-hour time frame. Around this area, we do have some price sensitivity, but we're going to see it more clearly on the 1-hour. 4-hour is also very bullish. You can see the structure right there, just highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows. So again, very, very bullish on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour, this is where we see obviously that strong sell-off on Friday. But once we start to mark off this previous support and we look towards the left, basically where price established this support right here, where I'm pointing at 2880, we can see that towards the left we have a support, then more towards the left we had a resistance. So we know that right here we use this as a resistance, but then price broke above 2880s and made this strong bullish rally into all-time highs. So we'll mark off all-time highs around 29.36, just around this area where price basically rejected heavily, right? So pay attention because all of this is going to make sense in just 1 second. It's all going to be connected. It's all going to be part of the game plan here. So again, 2880, that was a significant price point that we had marked off. If we look at the resistance at market open, the only one that we had available at that time was this 2886, 2885 area. And then towards the left, you see the same thing. You see it used as a resistance, a support, rejections, rejections. So 2885, that's a valid zone that we're looking at. So again, as you saw on that post that I put on X, we wanted to look out for continued buys. We've seen before right here, like I was explaining, after price made these highs, price made this strong sell-off down into the 2880s, as you can see. Basically, literally came to this area, had a minor move towards the downside, but candle closures were above. And then as you can see, strong buyers came in and we completely corrected this bearish move right here, right? This pullback. We corrected this pullback on this bullish run right here. Back to all-time highs. And so you can see again that strong sell-off. Where did it go to? Exactly 2880. It bounced off of that zone. So because in the past we already understood, okay, if we stay above 2880s, we do see buyers in the market. And if we break above 2885s, 2886, we have seen continued buyers above that area. So it made sense to be on the lookout for any bounces off of 2880s and any continued buys back above 2885s, at least short term, right? Just in case price was going to continue on this bearish run, at least short term, we wanted to see somewhat of some pullbacks, maybe for later on to see some sellers, depending on the price action. But because we were very bullish on the higher time frames and on the fundamentals, it made sense that we could see those continued buys, right? So let's just go little by little. You can see again at market open, we're gonna just skip. How do you skip one candle at a time? Right here, right here. So forward, we're gonna skip one candle at market open. As you can see, price gapped up towards the upside, which you're gonna see very clearly right here. Let me just pull this window up. You can see price gapped up towards the upside. It gapped up to around 28.94. So price basically broke above and it opened above that 28.86 area, which was the area that I was going to be on the lookout for buys, and 2880s as well. So you can see after price made that gap, price literally came all the way back down to 2880s, where I had the idea to look out for that bounce play. I saw on the lower time frames, we were having these lower time frame rejections. We can see rejections here towards the left as well, and price has bounced above. Now, as you can see, after I entered that position with these lower time frame rejections, my main objective was to look out for about 80 to 100 pips, which was really around these highs. It was around the 28.91s more or less where I had my take profit. But because price was so bullish and we had such a strong reaction off of 28.80s, I decided that when price got to 28.90s, I then trailed my stops to around 28.89 more or less. Price continued to push towards the upside, and then at that point I really just started trailing my stop loss, and I was able to capitalize eventually on 28.98. So it was about 150 pips that I was able to catch on this single move here. Now, the next trade, now that we're seeing 28.80 bounce, we're seeing breaks above 28.86s, we're starting to now make new highs on the intraday time frame. You can see price action. We're just going to let this be for a little bit because it was the next day on during New York session, which was President's Day, so a little bit risky to be trading during that time. But again, volume has been very strong on gold, so I decided to trade anyways. You can see here, again, it was the next day at around 8 in the morning or around 9 in the morning. I'm gonna show you guys the trade right now. We had this area marked off 28.96. So let's go back to the chart here. And as you can see, basically where this price created this support, 28.96, that's what we had marked off. We now had this new resistance. The idea during that morning, which I shared with my Discord group, was basically to look out for any bounces off of 28.96 and continued buys above 29.05, more or less. Yeah, like 29.05. If we got back below 28.96, we would be on the lookout for any sort of pullbacks after seeing this strong sell-off, right? So that was the idea. Either we're going to get bounces off of 28.96, or we're going to see sellers come in and break 28.96, and we can look out for pullback sells below 28.95s. So those were the main ideas. And as you can see on the lower time frames, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second here, on the lower time frames, you can see multiple reactions at 28.96. You can see this first reaction, price got to this area aggressively with these sells and bounced very aggressive. Then sellers came back in, bounced aggressively again. Sellers stepped in once again, went back to that zone, and it still continued to bounce. So by the time that I was trading, which was just after 8 in the morning, the opening of New York, I understood, okay, we could have less volume because it was President's Day, but it was really this 15-minute candle. I'm going to show you guys here. This 15-minute candle, when it rejected like this, and I saw that these previous rejections also had these large wicks. You can see a wick right here, another wick at 28.96. I saw that price again made that wick similar to what it did here, so I understood, okay, if I could get another retest of 28.96, I'll go in for a position. So that's where on the lower time frame you can see that a lot better. Again, the 15-minute had rejected, price went back to 28.96. Again, similar to like the first trade I showed you guys, the risk to reward was really good on this specific trade, so I simply took that position. I saw that candles on the intraday time frames, like you can see here on the 30-minute, price was still rejecting. Look at all of these rejections. Only here you had a minor breakout, and then price literally engulfed and got back above the zone. So we knew above 28.96, we do see a lot of buyers. So again, wick buyers, wick rejections, buyers, more rejections. Chances that we're going to see buyers are pretty high. If we don't, we're going to break these lows and price is going to pull back. We'll take a loss. It is what it is sometimes, right? But luckily, as you can see, price will press play here. It just continued to bounce. I was able to capitalize, I believe that day on around 50 pips. So that's what adds up to those 200 pips that I was talking about. So to end the video, we'll see how the overall analysis played out. You can see that basically buyers just continued to dominate the market. And we have now completely corrected that downside move. We're now breaking back into all-time highs. And so let's just do a quick analysis really fast, right? Now, the main resistance for now, because it's on the 1 hour, we have another 30 minutes until this 1 hour closes. We can see that this is the previous zone of resistance, 29.36, 29.36, also 29.36. We have broken above 29.36, right? So we can look out for continued buys above that area, but we also want to be breaking above the 29.40s, more or less. If we can continue to break above the 29.40s, then we can look out for continued buys as well. The other zone that I'm really noticing right now would be like this 29.29 area. Yeah, where this support was established. It was this previous high right here. So again, be on the lookout if price decides to do any sort of deeper pullbacks, but still on gold, gonna be looking for continued buys. My make it or break it area, I'm gonna be honest, I would have to say that it has to be around this 29-23, where we see this resistance was created, we see this support was created and left this wick as well. And then we can see right here as well, these wick rejections staying above that area. So I would be on the lookout for something like this. Let's say price does a pullback, a very deep pullback, and it bounces. Okay, we'll continue to look out for those buys. But if price is going to be doing deeper pullbacks, it's going to be trading below 29.28. And if we stay below that and then continue to break back below the 29.24s, that's where we could expect somewhat of a pullback, possibly into this previous range right here that price created. So again, everything looks good. Fundamentals, technicals, everything looks bullish for the moment. So let's be on the lookout and see how the days pass. So hope everybody enjoyed this video and take care, everybody.